Good morning, everyone. Steve Murray here with Insurance Agency Marketing Services. I hope that doesn't, my adjustment of my headset didn't mess up too much on your end. Certainly, as we're getting started here, I wanted to just run through a couple of quick things that you want to be aware of as we get going here. So Dave is going to join us in a moment. We're going to talk today about Social Security claiming. We're going to go through some Social Security claiming concerns and issues and methods with Dave. We'll talk through a couple of things that I think you'll probably find helpful and useful as you're talking to your clients about Social Security claiming. And then Dave will also talk about his use of Social Security claiming seminars from an educational standpoint, and how he uses that also to meet new clients and grow his business. So should be a good webinar. I know we've done this one and have been doing it now for a couple of years. There's always some changes and there's always new things to know. And there's always, of course, updates and the proper ways to go about the seminar approach as well. So good webinar today. Thank you all for joining us. As I mentioned, my name is Steve Murray. I'm the Executive Vice President here at IAMS, a co-owner as well. My job here in general is to make sure that we've got in front of you the right training, the right incentives, the right products, and hopefully the right service at all times to make sure that your business needs are being met and you can grow your business at the rate and level that you want to. So this is certainly more part of the educational part of that. We are fortunate to work with Dave Pimper, who is the president of Lazarus Coaching. He has worked with many of our producers on coaching from kind of a practice management approach all the way to various seminar approaches, and more recently added radio approach as well. So lots of opportunity with Dave for sure. During the course of the event, there's going to be a question or two that will come up, a poll. If you can answer those quickly, remember you're not making any commitment when you answer that poll, and I encourage you to yes or no it as quickly as possible. If you have interest, of course, hit yes. If you're not interested, let us know by hitting no, and we won't bother you about that. And I wanted to go ahead and get started this morning with just a couple of I call them IAMS commercials, but some things that I think you'll want to know as you get rolling with IAMS, some things that we can do. If you've joined us in the past, you know we have a couple of good programs that are designed to help you kind of add to your marketing budget and reward you for referring producers to IAMS. One, of course, a reward for referring producers is our referred producer program. I refer to it as RPM, referred producer money. A pretty simple thing. When you refer somebody to us, they get appointed. We send you a check and you can go out to dinner or lunch or whatever. $50 will buy you these days. But when they do business, the most important thing, the big checks go out as a bonus to you for business that they do. It's nothing out of your referee's pocket. We treat it as more of an advertising expense from our part. We do not prefer to pay email companies and magazines. We'd rather pay our producers for those referrals, and we've gotten our best producers from referrals. So it only makes sense to reward that, and we do that through the RPM program. As you can see there, it's 20 basis points when they do business, and a little example there for you how that money can add up. Literally, some of the largest checks we send out are RPM checks. So we want to thank you for those of you aboard that have referred us. Those of you that haven't yet, I hope you'll give it a try. If you know a colleague that might benefit from what we do educationally, service-wise, with products and training, just by all means, just call your sales director up, give them their name and number. We'll take it from there. Marketing reimbursement is, again, a fairly simple program. When you do business with us, no matter what business that you do, a little bit of money goes into your RP or your marketing reimbursement account. When you decide that you want to do some marketing, whether you're doing lead mailers or taking your clients out to dinner, whatever you do to grow your business, we will match your spend dollar for dollar on that. So if you have any questions about, hey, where's my marketing reimbursement at, give our accounting team a call, or ask your sales director, and they'll do it for you, and they'll check on where your marketing reimbursement is. A couple things. I know that aboard with us today, we've got a number of you that are new to IAMS, so I appreciate that. I just want you to take a quick look at that. You see there's 3 levels at which you can claim. You can see some basic incentives that we have out there for you at each level. This is based on business that you do in your first 180 days of being contracted with us, and you can see they're mostly designed around helping you further grow your business. We have had situations arise to where a guy says, hey, I want to use my new producer bonus for this. As long as it's something designed to help you grow your business, business, we're pretty good with that. So if you're doing seminars, for instance, and you want us to pay for a mailing or pay for your seminar or two, based on the level that you hit, we'll certainly do that. You can see specifically, I'll point you to the 300,000 level where we'll do your Social Security mailing for you. I will say also at the 500,000 level, there is a seminar on coaching with Dave. If you want to apply this to Social Security claiming, we'll get you everything you need and get your whole first seminar paid for, as well as your coaching, everything that you need to get in the Social Security claiming business. So great way to get rolling with us. You can see from our standpoint a bit of a lost leader, but we want to encourage you by all means to look to us as the folks that are going to help you grow your business. We think that's a great way for us to get started together. So we've got great back office support. The way that I put that best is that from the submission to commission standpoint, most of our competitors would agree that there's not many people better at it than IAMS. We do a great job of that right from when you get appointed with us all the way to making sure that your first piece of business, second piece of business, and every piece of business that you do with us gets through the system as cleanly and quickly and gets you commission paid out as quickly as possible. So if that's important to you, if you need some help with just getting the case design, we've got that for you. If you need help with making sure that your applications are right and correct and getting those out to you fresh, and if you do your applications online, we have the ability to help you with that. Any way that you choose to do business, we're well set up to make sure that when you start doing business with us to when you get paid your commissions, everything goes fairly smoothly. And like I said, our competitors would agree with that. We are about the best that there is. Also, we can help you on the marketing side. And this is something, there's a lot of different ways you can build your business, but there are some basics that you need to have in place, whether it's website, letterhead, everything that you need to be that professional look, whether they're brochures with your branded information on there, whether you're doing some Facebook marketing or advertising, whatever you're doing from a digital marketing standpoint to grow your business, we've got the team internally here that can help you with that. And the key is that they're already doing it for many producers like yourself. So you might say, hey, I want to do this. And they'll say, hey, we've done that for someone else. This worked really well. Hey, have you tried Facebook marketing? Can we get your website cleaned up and get it so that you get the proper benefits from that? There's a lot of things that we can do. All you got to do is call us. Most of it we're going to do gratis. Some of the things that we do, of course, we have to charge some for it because it's an expense item, but we can use marketing reimbursement for that. So we can make it really easy. And you're working with an advertising and digital marketing team that knows your business and is very highly interested in your success and doing it as quickly, easily, and for you as possible. That's the difference, and that's the IAMS difference. So if you need some of that information and some of that assistance along the way, I certainly hope that you'll give our digital team a call. Start with calling for Jacob, and he'll get you in touch with whoever that you need to talk to. IAMS website, really good stuff on that. We're updating it all the time. For those of you that have not looked at the IAMS website lately, I would encourage you, for instance, to go over to support. Go on our website, go over to support, look over at the IAMS resource library. We've got some great stuff out there. You need to tap into that. That's pages and pages and pages of things you can send your client, ways that you can build your business. It's really a very highly developed website within a website designed to help you grow your business. So again, you can kind of see the picture there in front of you. Go to our website, go to support, and you'll see the IAMS sales library. Click on that and have a peek around. I would just, if you haven't done that, I would encourage you to do so. We got some other great stuff on our website. Let somebody walk you through it. Give us a call and let one of our team walk you through that and show you how that works. We also have, and we pay a fee for this on a monthly basis to the folks at Retirement Analyzer to make available to our producers the Retirement Analyzer software. Marcus here in the office handles it. You can read as well as I can and look at the pictures on there. It's very graphic, very comprehensive way that you can help your clients design their retirement. It takes into account all of their investments. It takes into account everything, all their savings. It takes into account their Social Security payments, anything. And then what they do is they kind of say, hey, this is what I'm looking at doing. You're basically going to wrap up everything from their hopes and dreams to their daily expenses, help them understand how inflation is going to affect their savings, and then help them understand, too, there's a little risk analysis there. So if their portfolio of what they have on the investment versus what they have in safe, guaranteed savings vehicles like annuities and life insurance and CDs, and make sure that that's all right. And it's going to put that all for you in a nice graphic form, and we're going to make that available to you at no cost. It's an online portal. You'll be surprised and amazed with what it can do for you. And so if that's something that you may have interest in, what I want you to do is call Marcus here at the office. Just dial 800-255-505 and ask for Marcus, and he'll walk you through what you can do with that and make that available to you. Let's take a peek at it online, and like I said, we're going to take care of the cost of that for you. So really nice benefit of being with IAMS. If you are considering wealth management at all, I want you to check out this poll and see if you have interest. Go ahead and click yes. If you don't have interest in an RIA or wealth management in general, go ahead and click no on this poll. And when I put that up and launch it, I'm going to tell you a little bit about maybe what sets us apart. So folks that have joined IAMS Wealth have told us that our producer costs are relatively low to what they're used to, in some cases very low. So we've got a very inexpensive platform from a producer standpoint. Most of our producers tell us that our payout is generous to the producer, and that's been fully, that's probably the one thing that I hear most is, hey, what you guys are doing there, the ability for me to make over 1% or so is very, very efficient in the way that y'all do things. And so that's a big part or big benefit of the IAMS Wealth. Another thing that some of our producers have told me is that having looked at other RIAs and maybe been part of other RIAs, we're pretty good at the part of the business which helps you as to how you can go out to your clients and introduce these services so that you can begin to include these as you're talking to your clients in a more seamless and professional manner. So because we come from an insurance background and have the importance of displaying to your client a full realm of your wares and doing it in a professional and systematic way, we thought was important right out of the gate. So we just continue to develop that. And so most of the folks that have joined IAMS Wealth tell me that we're pretty good at that. And finally, if you're looking for a relatively simple doesn't sound quite the way that I want it to, but a way that when you're talking to your clients about what you can do from them from a wealth management standpoint, that process of, this is what we do, this is how we do it, and then implementing that, we can make that very easy for you. We've got, similar to what we've done on the IAM side of our business, we've got folks over there with Joan and Mike and Charles that can help take care of each step of that process and help you walk you through it, even to the point of sitting with you with a client on the phone and walking through some things for you. So if those four things you think could be important to you, and you're currently an RIA or IAR and you're thinking about joining a different RIA firm, check yes on that poll. If you have maybe considered that, whether based on the DOL or just business in general these days, if you wanted to add that to what you offer and expand your business offerings to your client, we can make that process of getting your Series 65 pretty simple. We've done it for probably about 2/3 of the folks that are part of our wealth management firm, help them through that process. We can do the same for you. We take care of some of the expense of that for you and help you walk through it step by step by step. So you can tell us, hey, I want to take my test in 3 months. We'll just kind of set that up for you so that you know where you need to be, and we'll help you along the way, and we'll give you some input, what we've learned from our other advisors. So if you think that could be of benefit to you, then I would check yes on that poll. If you're not interested at all in being part of Wealth Manager, you're very happy with your current RIA setup, I would encourage you just quickly to check no on that poll, and we won't bother you about that at all. Looks like most of you have taken the time to vote, and I want to get moving here. So if for some reason you were unable to vote or are having some issues along that line, give me a call if you would like to speak with somebody in wealth management, and I will put you in touch with Charles or Mike or Joan. Again, my number here, 800-255-5055. So with that, I'm going to close that poll. Thank you all, by the way, for answering so quickly. We'll get moved on here if that poll will close up for me. There we go. Wanted to talk with you all for just a second about our Life and Annuity Academy. So we're going to do more this year than we have in the past. We're probably going to hit the 4 number pretty easily before the year is over. We've got one coming up mid next month, which is pretty much already full down in Dallas. We'll be here in Omaha, and then we'll do a couple in Des Moines. So if you have interest in coming in for some face-to-face training with, between 30 and 50 fellow producers, where you'll hear some people from the home office, but really I think the most the home office folks would agree with this. The most beneficial information that you'll gather from these meetings is going to be from our 4 top producers that come in and talk about radio, seminars, a very specific trust approach with the trust product, and finally kind of a be your own banker type approach. And those come right from top producers that are in the field doing it every day. Dave, for instance, Dave, who you're going to hear from shortly, is one of those. We talk about radio as well. It's our newest offering. So a lot that happens at those academies. We take care of your expenses. You're going to be out of your office for 3 days. So we like to do them Wednesday through Friday. So you come in Wednesday, we go all day Thursday. So actually some Wednesday evening, all day Thursday, and then half a day Friday, and get you back off, whether by plane or by car, back to your home. So you're going to be functionally out of your office, but we're going to take care of your expenses associated with that. So we'll take care of your travel and take care of your stay. And so it's a no money out of your pocket way to expose yourself to great marketing, great sales ideas, a little bit of product information, and a lot of information from some top producers on how you can grow your business in a very, very practical manner. So if you think that might be of interest to you, and I'm sorry I did not launch that poll already, so I'm going to do that. If you think you have some interest in joining us for one of our academies this year, after the one in March, because unfortunately that one is pretty well filled up, but if you want to join us for one of our next 3 or 4 academies this year, just check yes on that. And what will happen if you check yes is you'll get an email, and that email will have for you a sample agenda, so you can get a really hour-by-hour breakdown of what we talk about. And then it'll also have a registration form, and that registration form will basically put your name in, and it'll let us know that you have interest in joining us. And then as the academies come up for the rest of the year, we'll call you and say, hey, Joe, Tom, Jill, Bob, Sue, we've got an academy coming up May 10th through the 12th or 10th through the 13th. Does that fit into your schedule? If it does, then we'll get you set up and get you in. And there are some variances between those academies, but not a lot. A lot of the information is, the most important information, that top 4 producers information, a lot of the sales and marketing, a lot of the practical ways to grow your business, a lot of the ability to share ideas with your fellow producers in a social and learning format is going to be true for all of our academies. We'd really like to have you join us for those. As I mentioned, we do take care of your expenses. So if that's something that you have interest in, please hit yes. Again, if you've been into one, or you're pretty happy with your current setup and your sales and marketing is all where you want it, then please check no. I would say this, if you've been to one of our academies recently, and I certainly understand the idea that you might want to come back in, but if it's been within the last couple of years, we do like to give folks that have not been in the opportunity to join us. So I would ask you to check no on that poll, and then give me a call, and we can certainly talk it over and see if that might be a fit yet this year for one of our academies. So again, my number, 1-800-255-5055. Ask for me. You can also talk to any one of our 10 or 12 sales directors here. They'll be glad to walk you through that as well, and see if there's a way that we can get you into one. With that, again, most of you have voted. The same thing would apply here. If for some reason you've been unable to vote, looks like there are probably 4 or 5 of you that for some reason have not voted, and you want to be included in one of our upcoming academies, just give me a call here at the office at 800-255-5055, and I'll be glad to send you out the sample agenda and the registration form. So with that, I'm going to close that poll up. Oh, looks like we got one person just finishing off an answer here real quick. Okay, there we go. I'm going to close that poll out, and we're going to get moving here. Okay. wanted to make sure that you were all aware. I know we've got a lot of you on here too that are regular producers with us, and fast on your way to one of our upcoming trips. We've got the Athene IAMS trip down in San Antonio that's going to take place here in late April, and many of you are well on your way to qualifying for that. Those of you that are qualifying for that are also in process of qualifying for our second trip, the IAMS trip that we do regularly once every 18 months or once every year or so. And this one's going to be down in Naples. There's still plenty of time to qualify for that. Qualification runs through June. The trip will be in August. We're going to go down to beautiful Naples, Florida. It's a great hotel, one of the better resorts in the country and one of the best for sure in Florida, and have some real beach and golf time down there for you and your guests. We'd love to have you join us. You can see there what it takes to qualify. If I can help you, if you have any questions about where you stand on qualification, or if you have any questions about what we can do to get you aboard there, give me a call here at the office. I'd love to chat with you about that as well. Okay, so let's get to the meat of the deal here today. Dave, are you with us?
I am. How are you doing, Steve? Steve, can you hear me? Hello, Steve.
Well, it may be, Dave, that other people can hear you. For some reason, I cannot, which is just fine.
Can they hear me?
In fact, if someone could let me know if they are hearing Dave, that would be great, because Dave, unfortunately, I'm not able to hear you. I'm going to introduce you, and maybe we can get this fixed in the meantime. So Dave is a veteran of the business, and he's been doing seminars since the early 80s, doing Social Security claiming seminars for about the past 5 or 6 years, and met with very, very strong success there. That being said, there's no doubt that you talking to someone that is currently in the seminar business, maybe you're not always going to think that they're a Social Security expert. And I can assure you that Dave knows about everything that there is to know about Social Security claiming and the best methods and ways to gain information and to help your clients on Social Security claiming. So it's great resource for us and for our producers around Social Security, and a great resource for us around seminars as well. Probably up to 500 plus seminars in total in his career. Does both securities and insurance business. I see from what you all are saying that looks like you can hear Dave, so that's great. I'll try and get my end fixed, Dave, so that I can hear you as well, because I'm hoping
all right.
communicate as well as the meeting goes on here. So in the interest of time, Dave, I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you, try and get my audio side fixed here. And without further ado, let me introduce Mr. Dave Pimper.
Yeah, hey, thank you very much. I apologize. I'm a much better marketer and advisor than I am when it comes to technology, but hopefully Steve can get that worked out on his end. I don't know why we can't hear each other, but if you could do me one more thing, if maybe one or two of you could shoot another a message through the chat part of the webinar that you could hear me, that would be great. And then Steve knows that we're communicating. So I appreciate your time. I've been in the business since 1981, so 30 plus years of pounding pavement and getting belly to belly with people. And one of the mainstays in my business has always been marketing. And there's no doubt about it. Seminar marketing has been, and I've tried I've tried almost every kind of marketing there possibly is to try, but week in and week out, seminar marketing has just been very, very good to me, of introducing myself to new prospects. And so what happens is that it's shy. I did a Social Security seminar last Monday, not yesterday, but Monday before, and I'm doing one here on this tomorrow, Wednesday, at a library in Omaha. We got 24 people signed up for the one tomorrow. I think we had 17, 18 on the one on Monday. But if I can get 35, 40 folks between two nights, I'm not assured, but I can get 10 or more appointments to go on in, and that of course is the name of the game, is appointments. So what happens on this, if you've got any questions, certainly go in and type them on in, and we will take it from there. I'm having trouble here of moving my screen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to freelance this a little bit if I can't get my screen. So bear with me just for a sec. So here we go. Social Security. First of all, why Social Security and why seminars? Well, Social Security is a subject that's just not very well known by most people. Okay? And what happens, I work the pre-retired and just retired crowd. So what happens is that Social Security we mail to ages 58 through 67. Well, is that just, I mean, it's just an ideal crowd to mail to. We got some demographics, where we mail to, the zip we mail to, investable asset, sometimes income, sometimes net worth, but investable assets is another area that I really like. So we have X amount of investable assets. If you're I'm in Omaha, Nebraska, and Fremont, Nebraska. We're rural, so I may not put it as high as I would from someone who was in Miami or LA or a bigger city, Atlanta. But what happens is Social Security, 95 or 6% of all the people in the U.S. are going to get a Social Security benefit, whether it's a primary benefit, a spousal benefit, a divorced benefit, a survivor benefit. It's just a heck of a subject. And the government does a very poor job of explaining how Social Security works. Believe it or not, the Social Security administrational offices that people go into, what happens is that they, first of all, they're understaffed. Second of all, if you can believe it, they can't give advice. They cannot give you advice of what strategy to do that's in your best interest. They can give you your highest return right now. Well, I love it because that opens up the door for an advisor like ourselves to really be helpful to the people. So I do a lot of Social Security workshops. I also do some 401k IRA rollover seminars. I do a radio show, an hour radio show weekly on the biggest radio station in Omaha. It's a 50,000 watt station, biggest you can get. KFAB, Rush Limbaugh, so forth. You've got Dave Ramsey, just all the big boys are on there. Kim Commando, yeah. And what happens is that Social Security is one of the main polls, for people coming on in. So as you're going through here, as you can see, Social Security's strategies next actually was in 2015 after the Bipartisan Budget Act, but file and suspend did have a phase out in 6 months. And restricted application, who we use a lot, is phasing out over the next years. You got to be at least born January 2nd, 1954 or earlier. So what happens is that the seminar, I think it is now working. So good. We'll see if I can get this going back. Yeah. So this is working now. Good. So here's what happens is, why seminars? And why specifically Social Security? I talked about the age group. It's a much more educational than a dinner workshop. I'll just say that it feels less sales-ish because it is. It's more educational. We do it in libraries or colleges. Could be any. And I just talked to a fella from Louisiana, and he was talking about doing it in a. He has a room right next to his office. Well, that isn't as strong as doing it at a library or an outside educational place. Pretty high conversion rate for appointments, but transitioning from talking just about Social Security to actually helping them with their finances and their money, yeah, that's another thing. So people all the time come to those and ask, will it be there for me? So here's a question. Do you think in 2018, well, let's go, because I think 17 is the last information that's out. So 2017, did we run a surplus or did we run a deficit with Social Security? More money coming in, more money going out. Well, you know what? Most people are going to say more money going out. We ran a deficit, but pretty wild. What happens is we ran a surplus of $19 billion. So there's three important ages to Social Security. So this is Social Security 101. There's three important ages or time periods for Social Security. It's the earliest that you normally can take as an individual. Age what? 62. The latest that you can wait to start taking it, or you just lose the benefit, age 70. So those 8 years, you can decide when you take your Social Security. Then there's something called full retirement age or normal retirement age, FRA. Social Security loves acronyms. FRA, full retirement age. If you're born from 1943 to 1954, your full retirement age is 66. If you're born in 55, like I was born in April 9th of 55, I can add 2 months. If you're born in 56, add 4 months. If you're born 1960 or later, it's 67. So full retirement age is somewhere between 66 and 67. And that's when you get the full benefit. If you take earlier than that, your benefit is reduced. You get it now, but it's reduced. If you wait later than that, it's increased. You're not getting it, but it's increased. People who come to a Social Security workshop, just under 50% of all recipients take Social Security as early as they can, 62 and 63. It's true. Only 7% wait longer than full retirement age. Am I going to wait longer than full retirement age? You darn right I am. I'm going to wait to the longest. But I got pretty good longevity in my family. There's reasons not to take Social Security later. You know, I always say, what are 3 good reasons to take it early? You need the money. So I'm going to continue to work well past 70. But if you need the money or don't have the savings or investments to take from, don't have a pension, which most people, new people don't now, yeah. If you don't have the money, you want to take it. What about your health is bad? You've already had 2 bypass surgeries, or you just like a friend of mine, pretty darn good shape and just had a stent put in his heart. Well, he has to think about maybe taking Social Security earlier. He may not live to that break-even point of 78, 79, 80, 81. That's kind of the break-even of a single person. How about you're pretty good shape, but your DNA in your family, you got 4 brothers and sisters, and they've all got cancer. Yeah, you know, you don't mean those are the reasons to take it earlier, but after all of that, no, there isn't. You know what? Then at least the primary larger earner should think about delaying Social Security because it has an absolute guarantee by the government of what you get paid. So if you take early, Steve, can you hear me? I don't know if he can or not, but everything's working here. You know, what happens is if you take it, if your full retirement age is 66 and you take it 62, it's going to get reduced by 25%. If you have a $1,000 benefit at age 66 and you take it 62, you're going to get 75% of 1,000. You can get $750. How about it's a $2,000 benefit? Well, you're going to get $1,500. That's 75% of 2,000, and that's for the rest of your life. Okay. So what happens is that you get a reduction from full retirement age if you take early. If you wait longer, you get a delayed retirement credit, a DRC or delayed credit, and it's guarantees of 8%. And remember this, everything with Social Security, if there's a cost of living raise, an inflation raise in a year's time, you're going to get it with Social Security. When did inflation start on a yearly basis guaranteed? Well, came in 1975, so it's been for a long, long time. I was a junior in college in 1975. Oh, weren't those the days? Yeah. But if you wait from 66 to 67, you get 8%. Wait from 67 to 68, you get 8 more percent. Remember, you get COLA on that also. Now, COLA is on everything, but I like to say that because COLA is 2.8%. So if you got a $2,500 benefit, so it's going to go up almost 11%. Well, you know what? 11% of 2,500 is $275. So just think about it off of a nice, which would be a pretty high benefit. You've been a pretty high wage earner. But if you wait 4 years, you're going to increase your benefit $1,100 from $2,500 to $3,600 if that inflation stayed the same. That's like a mini pension every year, $275 mini pension. And inflation's not going down, folks, it's going up. So in 2010, 2011, and 2016, we did not have any cost of living increase. Other than that, every year since 75, there's been a cost of living increase. Very, very important. It's a big deal. Most people don't even think about letting their Social Security wait in taking, say, from their income stream of assets. Once you get up in front of it, remember, the people who come to a workshop and we do a mailing, we mail out 6,000. There's no meal with this, so that helps. So the mailing, they just raised it a penny on us because of you probably saw first class mail. I think it's 50 cents now. But if you mail out 6,000 pieces, it's $3,360. $3,360. That's 56 cents. That's a big. It's a big 8.5 by 11, and it folds out like 4 pages of. It looks just like a invitation that you'd get to a Metro Tech. They call you. Your instructor will be. The class time is. It's very educational in nature. It's been very popular. People come to get educated. And we offer the appointment right there at the workshop. Remember, this is a process and a system that you plug into. It's proven, and it works. Guaranteed income? No, you're not. But I'll tell you what, getting in front of 10 or 12 or 15 appointments through a workshop, if you're just an average salesperson, you're going to work, you're going to do business with at least some of those folks. You bet. If you have any question, certainly type them on in. We're more than happy. So here we're going to go through some specifics. And this is, and I'm going to stay fairly simple here because not a lot of people, only 15 to 18% of all advisors really understand Social Security. It's just, people who come to a workshop, they're not the ones that are going to normally take it 62. They're not. They're the ones that are about to retire or just retired and want to maximize their Social Security. They want to make it go as far as they possibly can. And it might be worthwhile to take early. My wife, I know most everything about Social Security. It was better for her to take it 62 than it was for her to take later on. Yeah. We did the analysis through software. But let's say John's PIA stands for primary insurance amount. That's the amount you get at full retirement age. His is $2,000. Jane's primary insurance amount is $800. What does she get for spousal benefit? Say they both take. John takes his, Jane takes hers. She can get, because she's the lower benefit of the two, she can take all of hers, or she can take half of John's, whichever is more. What's more, $800 of hers or half of John's of 1,000? Half of John's at 1,000. She gets a top up of $200. John gets 2,000. She gets 1,000. That's how a spousal benefit works. Now, if John doesn't take his, she can only take 800 until John takes his benefit. How about a divorced spouse benefit? I hate to say, but there's a lot of folks who have been divorced, and I call it the triple play. So if your marriage lasted 10 years or longer, you're currently unmarried, not the ex, but you are currently unmarried. Ex can be married, but you're currently unmarried and the ex is at least 62. You know what? Now you're a candidate for a divorce spouse benefit. What's cool about a divorce spouse benefit? You can use your spouse, whether they're married or not, you can use their benefit just as if you are still married to them. Wow. That's something, isn't it? Yeah. So what happens if you're a doctor's wife? The doctor's making $1 million a year. He's got the, a benefit that's like this year's like at 28 or 2,900. You're married to him for 25 years. He goes off, gets a trophy wife. You're sitting there. You've never worked outside the home. You took care of all the kids and did volunteer work. You know what? Pretty cool, because once he goes in and takes his benefit, say it's $3,000, you're able to go in on a divorced spouse benefit and get 1,500 of it, because you can take all of yours, which was zero, or half of your husband's. In this case, your ex-husband, as long as you're not married. It's a pretty cool benefit. People who are married and people who have a fair amount of assets, they have more options with Social Security. If you just don't have many assets, you're kind of at the mercy of taking when Social Security is available, unless you keep working. Okay? If any questions, certainly type them in. We'll answer them here at the end of the presentation. Yeah, I think it's important to know that Social Security is complicated. It's not easy. Okay? So let's talk about survivor benefits when somebody passes. You got Joe and Julie. In this case, they're married. They're both full retirement age, to make it simple. Joe's benefit's $2,000. Julie's benefit's $1,200. Joe's benefit is $2,000. Julie's benefit is $1,200. So Joe dies. Joe kicks the bucket. What is Julie? What's her options? She can either keep her $1,200 going, or she can drop her benefit and take Joe's, which is higher. Not done automatically like a spousal benefit. That's done automatically. Here you have to report it to the Social Security. What happens if you don't report? You don't report, you don't get the benefit. You think that Social Security Administration cries over that? No, there's pressure on the system right now anyway. Just more money that stays with the government. I will say something about Social Security. It started over 80 years ago. Started in Franklin Delano Roosevelt, FDR. In fact, we were in New Orleans here this last weekend on a wedding and went to they have a big World War II museum. If you're ever down there, it's really cool. We took a guided tour that was pretty neat, a lot of neat insight, but it really pretty darn makes you really appreciate of what you have and what people did for our freedom. But what happens is FDR was brought up quite often. Of course, he was president during World War II, or at least the majority of it, until the very end. And what happens is that is who started talking about it in 1929, and it got enacted in 1935. First benefit check in 1940. But you talk about the government being wasteful. I will say one thing about Social Security. It's been around for a long, long time, 80 plus years, and 99% of all the money that's generated in Social Security for revenue is paid back out to recipients. 99%. Where would you ever find that in, say, a nonprofit organization, a private nonprofit organization? You would not. Lots of things are messed up with the government and government programs. But I'm telling you what, Social Security, you hear it bashed all the time, but it's paid out steady benefits and there's been changes, but steady benefits to people. It keeps many, many folks, over 20 million people out of poverty row. So it's a pretty cool social program. I had a lady who came in from a workshop back quite a long time ago, 5-6 years ago. And she said, I was really perplexed because she said, my husband died 5 years ago. and his benefit was $1,800, and I've been taking my benefits $300. There was $500 between those two, and she said they meaning the administration, which this is probably not true. She probably got this mixed up somehow, or could have been a friend of hers that told her that was wrong, but she never jumped up to the benefit. She lost $500 a month, $6,000 a year, 5 years, over $30,000 that she was shorted because she didn't know the rules. Boy, I tell folks in the workshops, don't let that happen to you. I'll tell you right now, if you're an advisor and you don't really understand the inner workings of Social Security, I've got to ask, why not? Why not? It's everybody wants information on Social Security. And you know what? You don't have people out there peddling Social Security, selling Social Security, because you can't make any money peddling Social Security. Got people peddling. I'm not talking down on MedSups or MedAdvantage, but certainly that's why the government knows there's this enrollment period, specific enrollment period. That doesn't happen with Social Security, and plus the Social Security Administration cannot give advice. Does that set the cards up for us to help them? You darn right it does. Can you imagine on coming into my door of my office in Fremont, Nebraska, outside of Omaha, 30 miles? It says financial advisor. Could you go imagine someone coming in and say, hey, I see you're a financial advisor. Can you give me some financial advising advice? No, sorry, can't do that. But that's what happens with the Social Security office. They can't give that advice. So people normally don't come in and say, hey, I always ask them, hey, what are the two most important things you want me to cover today? That's important for you. For this next hour, it's yours when they come in for the appointment. Well, they always going to say Social Security. I got to find out when. I said, what's your second one? And about 1 out of 3 or 1 out of 4, you know what they say? Hey, we got a 401k and we're not sure what to do with it. Or we don't want, we just want to make sure that our finances are in order. Or we thought you might want to have a look at, we got some money at the bank. We know we're not earning much. About 1 out of 4 people. And we have we have a system. We set up the appointment at the workshop. We call them, they know we're going to call them the next day to make sure and nail it down for the date and the time. Then we're going to go in and mail out to them. We ask them, do you want it in a hard copy or would you rather have it in the email? We ask them, my administrator does that on the phone. If I didn't have an administrator, then I would do it myself. But what happens is that some people would rather get it by email. I personally would rather mail it on out. But it says bring investment statements, bring insurance statements. We show them how to go online and get their Social Security. Yeah, and you know what? Not everybody brings that in. If they bring in their investment statements, there is a little better chance you're going to do business with them. But I've done business with a ton of people that never brought in one thing. It's a system. It's a process. It's a way to go in to help people with a vital part of their retirement is Social Security. Then you can go in and uncover other assets that maybe you can help them with also. Any questions? Certainly type them in. Social Security is one of those subjects that I'll tell you right now, not many people really understand it. Spousal benefits, remember, file and suspend is gone, and that got the big press. But you know what? From the Bipartisan Budget Act of 2015, what happened was restricted application. We always did more advising with restricted application than we ever did file and suspend, probably 80-20%. So everyone heard of file and suspend. There was the name, kind of the name tells the story, but restricting your application to a spousal benefit had instead of a 6-month phase out period, it has an 8-year phase out. It's still going on until 2024. So if you're born on or before January 1st, 1954, okay, meaning 1/1 of 16, you needed to be 62. So 1/1 of 19, you needed to be 65. So it's starting to phase now. Not as many people are that age coming to the workshops, but you can restrict your application. So let's go in and just kind of figure out what that means. Now, I know this is complicated, and it is. And I don't like slides that have, I like pictures. So this gets a little complicated, but just follow me on this, okay? Restricted application at FRA, full retirement age. If you're born from 43 to 54, that's age 66. The higher earning spouse restricts his application to the spousal benefit. So here's how it works. In the example, Mike and Mary, they're both full retirement age, 66. You don't have to both be full to restrict, just the higher earner does. But in this case, I don't want to have a deduction, okay? Mike's primary insurance amount, PIA, is $2,000. That's his benefit at 66. Mary's PIA is $800. Mary files for her benefit. She has to file. Doesn't work if she doesn't file. She files at hers at 66. What happens is that Mike has a lot of assets in Mary. They have a lot of assets. And they would rather go in and have a guaranteed delayed retirement credit of 8% on his 2,000 plus COLA this year. That changes year to year. Last year in 2018, it was 2%. This year it's 2.8%. But you know what? Rounded to 3, we're at 11%. So on a $2,000 benefit, 11% is, if he waits 1 year, he gets $220 more for the rest of his life. If he waits to 70, he's going to get $880 more. $880 more. He's raising his benefit from $2,000 to $2,880, and depending on what COLA is. If COLA is higher, it'd be a little more than that. COLA is lower, a little lower than that. And remember this: who dies normally first, the man or the woman in a marriage? The man does 80% of the time. You know why? Because he elects to. That's a joke. I say that at the workshop. Not everybody laughs, but yeah. No, the guy does die first. Well, what happens if he dies? You know what? Then Mary can jump up from $800, not just to $2,000, to $2,880, almost $2,900. What a big deal! So here's how restricted works. Mike's PIA 2,000, Mary's 800. Mary files for hers. Mike now starts his application in the eyes of Social Security, but he stops it. He restricts it. He can't take two spousal benefits at the same time. He takes a spousal benefit for Mary. He takes half of Mary's, which is $400. He continues to let his grow the 8% a year. Well, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. $400 a month times 12, $4,800, almost $5,000, $19,200 over 4 years of free money. Who does this? Hardly anyone. Hardly anyone. You know why? Because the average consumer doesn't know about it. So when file suspend went away, and now restricted application will be away in 2024, is Dave Pipper going to quit giving Social Security workshops? Absolutely not. The rest of it, just the benefit, like you have to have 35 years of your highest earnings, inflation adjusted. If you don't have 35 years, you get a 0 in the years you don't have it. Spousal benefit, divorced benefit, survivor benefit. It goes on and on and on. Maybe a bit of the sizzle, but who eats sizzle? People eat steak. The steak of the matter is that Social Security is so important, and very, very few people understand it, and very few advisors truly understand it. Pretty interesting, huh? This is just talking about Social Security. I love this. Comes right from taking the claim. Provide enough information so the claimants can make informed choices, but do not give advice. We talked about that. That always amazes me when I see that. Here's something that we bring out, and we talk about the 5 pillars of income: work, pensions, income-producing assets, required minimum distributions, RMDs at 70.5 on your traditional, IRAs and 401ks, simple SEPs, etc. Social Security. I always say Social Security is the most flexible. So when we start working down this, hey, you're still working. How much are you gross? How much are you making right now? Okay. Then I get from husband and wife. Pensions. Are you lucky? Oh, you worked for IBM. They do have a pension. You got $1,700 coming in before you left. Okay, good, good. Oh, you're taking a pension right now. Okay, great. Income producing assets. We talk about their 401ks, their IRAs, their simples, their SEPs, their cash values, land that they own, rental property they own, a lot of different things. And we're trying to kind of pick here the asset that we can maybe help them with. Maybe we can do a fixed index annuity and put the anchor on that, or we can find some wealth management fee-based business that they're overpaying for right now. Maybe it's in a variable annuity through their IRA. Yeah, RMDs, but Social Security is more flexible of when to start. It's like a mini pension every year that you delay. So I call that the 5 pillars of income, and I have the sign-up sheet right there because that's where people say yes. Is from that slide. It's extremely important. We use horse's mouth. There's a cost for the seminar and the analysis that you can run from that. And there's over 300 pages of reading within the material, but it's about $520 or $25. That's per year. And if you renew that, it's a little less than that if you renew it for the next year. But we couldn't reproduce that in-house for that kind of cost. I've got over, actually I think it's 400, this will be my 487th public seminar. Sounds like a lot, but you know what, from the mid-80s, actually started in 80, I started in 81, but I didn't start doing workshops until 85. But yeah, that's due between 16 and 20 a year, which I do. And so if you do 18, that's 9 months, because I do 2 workshops off of each mailing. It's 9 months out of the year. I normally take summer off, and lots of times I don't do December. So I take June, July, August, and December off. This year we're doing one in the middle of August. But I try to make a complicated subject much easier to understand. We have lots of attachments. So if we talk about file and suspend or restricted application, you'll get some articles on restricted application, etc. It's a turnkey system, no meals, proven transition language to uncover assets, which we do. And there's ongoing help from me. If you coach with me, as long as you're doing business with IAMS, and I'm not in the hierarchy, I get paid $195 from you for 5 coaching sessions of 45 minutes. IAMS pays me $555 as long as you qualify. So we're going to go in, and after this slide, we're going to put up a poll. If you'd like to get more information on Social Security seminars, and remember this, there's 2 things you get out of this. Seminars are not for everyone. If you can't public speak, if you just don't have any marketing dollars, you don't have $3,000-$4,000 to market with. It's a pay to play. But what happens is that through coaching, you get to really understand how Social Security works, the inner workings of Social Security claiming. If you don't know that now, that's the byproduct. The first product is you get in belly to belly in front of prospects. But the second thing is that we'd like to get the poll on that, Steve. We'll redo that, but I wanted to say that that's the byproduct. The meat is you get to talk to prospects, but the byproduct is you learn Social Security. I say procrastination is my sin; it brings me constant sorrow. I really shouldn't practice it. Perhaps I'll stop. You know what? Tomorrow never comes. Don't let that happen to you. If you're on the webinar today and you heard something that you kind of liked, yeah, say yes on this. Would you like more information on Social Security coaching seminars from Dave Pimper, myself, Lynn, or Lori, or myself? We'll call you tomorrow, most likely, and we'll nail down a specific time that's good for you, that's good for me, for 25 minutes, 30 minutes. We'll just talk about what you're doing right now. And I want to be constructive. I don't want to be critical. I want to be constructive. I just talked with a guy from down in Louisiana who was thinking about doing seminars 9 years ago, and he decided not to. There was another seminar system, because I've just been doing Social Security seminars for 7 or 8 years now. But, he called me back. He says, you know what, Dave? He said, I've spent a lot of money. I've gotten some business in. I should have done those seminars in the very first place. I want to do them. And we're setting up. And this time we're going to do a Social Security seminar. But one-on-one coaching with me is I take that complicated subject of Social Security, I make it easy for you. Also, you're able to call someone whenever you want to find out the answers to your Social Security questions. And if I don't have them, then I'll call someone that I know that does, or I'll go up to the government SS site, Social Security site that does. But if you mark yes or no. If you mark no, I'm not going to contact you. But if you mark yes, yeah, then we will contact you. We'll get the list, and we're going to talk to you. Social Security is not for everyone. Seminars is not for everyone. But I will say this. If you don't have enough qualified prospects that you're talking to each week, isn't it something that maybe you should go in and consider? I mean, I'm biased, but I'd say yeah. Hey, Steve, I'll turn it on over to you and see if there's any questions that we may have.
Dave, we do have a few questions. Before we get to those, I'm going to put in a little bit of a perk for Dave here, because Dave has been coaching with us for a while. We've seen some really good success, and just as a general rule, just so that you all know, we don't offer any seminars anymore that don't have some involvement in the seminar developer, and there's good reason for that, because the success rate is night and day. So if you're considering doing seminars, you need to have that step-by-step coach to do it. The fact that Dave is regularly producing very successfully, and the fact that he's got a lot of seminars, makes him uniquely qualified to help you with this process. Now, another thing that I'll say, and Dave, I didn't hear you mention this, maybe I missed it, but one thing that we found in general is that folks that maybe haven't jumped into the seminar pool at all, maybe they're not comfortable speaking in front of groups, or they don't feel they have the wherewithal from a presentation standpoint to do that. What you'll find about Social Security claiming seminars is it's a great, easy way to get to break the ice on doing seminars, because you are going to make a presentation that is very more of a teaching type of presentation, as opposed to a showmanship that you may have to have a little bit more on some other type of approaches. There's no dinner involved, so it's relatively inexpensive. You're going to find people relatively more convertible to appointment, and the reason for that is, of course, is they want the information that you have that they so dearly want, which is regarding what can they expect from a Social Security benefit and what's the best way to take it. So there's a lot of good reasons to consider seminars, and there's even more good reasons to consider doing Social Security claiming seminars with Dave. It really is that perfect storm. And so what our guys really have liked about doing seminars with Dave in general is he's got a team that will step by step. So they're going to get you the list. They're going to set up the mailing. They're going to make sure the invitation's right. They're going to get your teledirect set up so that you can get your reservations made. They're going to help you pick the right venue. They're going to make sure that we're pulling the right ages and the right areas to get you the best response in your area. If need be, they're going to help you set up social, the digital approach to that as well, to help kind of supplement your attendees. So there's a lot of little things that can go wrong that go extremely right when you work with someone that has done it before, and they go extremely right when you work with somebody that has done it 500 times before and is currently doing it now. So that's my pitch for Dave, and I feel I don't know that there's a better option for our producers right now. And so you can tell I've got a little passion here because I think there's really a great opportunity. I think we've seen so much success there from guys that maybe didn't think seminars was the way for them. So I hope you'll take advantage of it. And if you have any inkling that this might be the right way for you to go in the seminar business, this is something that you should explore. Now, Dave, I've got 3 questions here. They all kind of revolve around, I don't know, we didn't cover this evidently. So one of the questions is from David is, what's our cost per seminar? Another question is basically, what's our return on investment? Another question is, has to do more with venues and meals and things like that. So can you go over a little bit from your standpoint what you expect from return on investment, what the investments are, and maybe just kind of a feel for a mealed seminar versus a non-mealed seminar, which is what we're talking about here with Social Security.
I'm still a believer of mealed seminars. It's just that Social Security doesn't need a meal. It's one of the very, very few seminars that has enough pull, enough information, enough educational information that's available that client needs, a prospect needs that or wants that. So have I done mealed seminars with Social Security? I have. I've tried it. And you know what? The response was just negligible. What's that word, Steve? Am I trying to say?
Negligible,
That's right.
negligibly
That's right.
different,
Yeah.
I think is probably what
Yes.
you're
Thank
really
you.
trying to communicate.
Thank you. I needed help there. Yeah, I needed
Yep.
help there. Yeah. Just it was a small difference. So you know what? It wasn't worth the $20 a meal. I've done 95 or 8% of my Social Security seminars, and I've probably done 80, 90 Social Security seminars now since I started 8, 9 years ago. That people are there for the education. And you know what? I mean, they don't say I'm going there to sign up for an appointment. They don't do that. But once they're there, they view you as the expert. Yeah. So what we're trying to do is get 35, 40 folks between 2 nights. It's going to cost, it's going to cost about $3,300, $3,400 for the mailing. You got to buy horses mouth. That's $500. You got to pay me $195. IAMS pays me the rest. I'm not in your hierarchy. I'm not in your commission structure. I get paid from coaching, and coaching certainly is a much smaller part than what my production is. Because I'm a producer just like you, so you got someone that's doing this day in and day out. But it's a process. And a lot of them talk about a turnkey system. This truly is. So we want 35, 40 folks to come between 2 nights. Are those numbers down from what they were 10 years ago? Yeah, they are down some. You know what? Because there's other ways to get information now through the web and so forth, but that's still way enough. There's still way enough people that come to get those 10 appointments or more, because that kind of not insures me, but I'll tell you, if I get 10 appointments or more from a workshop, my chance of doing business is extremely high. One, 2 or 3 pieces of business with different clients. And I would say as long as I do it, I'm not, a lot of the FMOs are going to go in and, have I done over $1 million in a workshop? Certainly have. Have I ever blanked from a workshop? I have before, but I can count it on one hand of how many workshops of the last hundreds and hundreds where something didn't come on in. And I hope to get 250 to 300,000. If I can get 250 to 300,000 of AUM, of gross dollars coming in, I'm really happy. I do investments also, so I do some fee-based money management, but I certainly do my share of fixed index and fixed annuities from the guarantee standpoint. Rates are a little higher, caps a little higher right now, being a little more competitive. But yeah, 250 to 300. So you know what? If am I 5 times or 10 times my money? No. But you know what? If I go in and say it costs me $3,500 to put it on, okay, $3,500, and off of 300,000, say I make 10 grand. I've heard people before say, "Oh, I would never do it for just 3 times my return on investment." Or, well, my gosh, if I went to Vegas and I had 3 times or 2 times my investment, how long would you play? You'd play forever. And that's what I've elected to do. Marketing, the more you do, the better you get. But there's some work involved. Because to learn Social Security, there's some paperback books to read. Horse's Mouth's got some very good information. They got 2 books, one 100 pages and one 200 pages. But it's going to take you a while to, through that. And then we have a 5-week course that we coach the people up, and we educate the advisor, and we're role playing, and we're really doing the best job I can to get that person up and running. So what we want to do is, like Steve talked before, I'll never forget Christmas Christmas Eve night, after having some spiked eggnog and wine. My wife and I are trying to put together, this play set, swing set for our little kids. And I mean, we had a blueprint there. They gave us the instructions, but my, oh my, it took us forever. Now, what happens if there'd be someone there that had put that play set together 486 times? You think we could have gone and done it a lot faster, a lot more efficiently, and probably drank more eggnog? I would say we could have. And that's what I do. That's what I bring to the table that most FMOs don't bring to the table, is that it's a hands-on coaching and training process. And I think in today's day and time, people don't want to go and make their own. They don't want to make their own mistakes. They want to go in and have a process and have the best chance to go in and be successful. Hopefully we can put that success in your corner.
Dave, I'm just picturing you and Amy putting a swing set together. I just can't imagine that went very well.
Well, she actually did a little better job than I did putting it together, but it went a long time.
Hey, Robert had a question about a slide specifically, and then I'm going to ask you to call Robert after this meeting because he had a couple of things that he wanted to chat with you about. But David asked a question. He said, what is the percentage of qualified leads from 10 appointments? Qualified meaning the leads have 20,000 or greater cash or CDs.
20,000 of cash or CDs?
Yeah.
Everyone. At 20,000.
Yep.
At 200,000, it would be the majority, probably 8 out of the 10.
Sure.
Because we're going to do investable assets at 250,000, and not that, and that's about 90% correct. So out of 10 people, 9 of those will actually have those investable assets. Now, they're investable. They might not be available, like a 401k, and they're 56 or 7 or 57 or 8 or 9 years old. Yeah, that type of thing. But no, it's most of the people are. I mean, the person, Steve, who comes to a workshop like this, they're trying to maximize. Well, who are the ones that are trying to maximize? Well, normally they're a little higher income, a little higher maybe education. A lot of college graduates, masters, PhDs, yeah, because those are the people that are more analytical. The person who's going to take it at 62 and they know it, they don't come to a workshop like this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they just don't. So on Wednesday night, I got 24 or 5 people coming, and you say I dropped 2. Say 22 people actually come. Of those 22 people, you're normally going to go in and probably have 15 buying units, and my goal is to have half of those sign up for the appointment. So I hope that I get 7 people, 7 to 8 people. If it's under that, I'm going to be unhappy. But that would give me 13. So I had 5 or 6 or 7 the last time. So I should have about 13 appointments. And on 13 appointments, you get a good advisor in front of 13 appointments that they've said, yes, I want contacted for the appointment at this time and date. That's strong, and that's what seminars do. They keep the process of qualified appointments in front of the advisor. The more appointments an advisor has, the more they can help people, the more business they do. That's been kind of my motto for years and years and years, and it's worked.
Yeah, well, you're a testament to your own system there for sure. So, and I know you've mentioned to me on more than one occasion that in terms of quality of prospect, you've always been very, very happy with the quality of prospects that you get from Social Security claiming seminars. They're always folks, like you said. I mean, they're not concerned about Social Security unless they have, the above average dollars at stake on their Social Security. So it becomes really kind of a self-completing opportunity to get in front of some really good prospects. So we've run.
Well, that's right.
Yep. Go ahead.
And I'll do one more quick thing. Just remember this, and then we'll be done. And certainly mark yes or no, because we'll close this up here in just 20 seconds. Remember this: how much money does wages make us? When we talk about wages, nothing. How about pensions? Nothing. How about RMDs? Most likely nothing. How much do we make off of Social Security? Nothing. But when we look for the investable assets on the 5 pillars, so that those 401ks, in-service non-hardship withdrawals. I mean, I got one coming on Saturday. He has. I talked to you about the CVS 280,000 and another 130,000 from another firm. I mean, that's 500,000. Those kind of prospects they just aren't out there for everyone. But they'll come to ask questions about Social Security. But then you're opening up their assets, and what you're trying to do is to work with all or a portion of those assets. It's just a good system. You're helping the people. It makes everybody feel good. So yeah, hopefully I can talk to a lot of people and give them good advice.
Yep. We've had a lot of great response, and I do appreciate everyone's patience as we got through that little technical difficulty on the front end. We appreciate that very much. Yeah, and as Dave would say, if you want to, kind of put yourself in front of some good prospects and put yourself in front of them, and not in terms of necessarily a sales approach, but more of a credible resource of information approach. Social Security seminars is a great way to do that. Dave also does some other great seminars, and he does some radio stuff. So there's a lot of great opportunity in working with Dave. We feel very fortunate here at IAMS to be associated with someone of Dave's caliber that has the background that he has and has the passion for sales and the passion for financial advisors that he has, and frankly has a passion for helping IAMS that he does. So it's very good recipe for success for us. I know Dave enjoys it, and I know we've been able to help many folks out there just like you. And that's really what we're about here at IAMS, is trying to find ways to help you get successful in your business. We know that when you're successful and we help you, that you'll look to us for years and years to come, and that's been our recipe for success. So thank you for joining us today. I know that there have been a couple questions that we didn't get answered. We'll try and get those answered for you. Thank you for your attentiveness, and thank you for participating along the way. And we look forward. We get together about every Tuesday with some type of an educational approach together with Dave. So we hope you'll join us next Tuesday, and we appreciate your business. And please, whatever we can do to help you grow your business, give us a call here at the office. It's 800-255-5055. Thank you, Dave. Appreciate you taking some time out of your busy schedule today. I know you got a lot of appointments and things stacking up, so I appreciate you taking some time with us today. Anything you want to say as we close out?
Nope, just thank you for your time, and sorry we ran over a little bit, but looking forward to speaking with hopefully a lot of the advisors.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you all, and have a great finish to your sales week.
Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.